What's good? Tonight we are doing an impromptu dispute letter writing workshop, and if you have negative items that you want to remove, collections, foreclosures, repossessions, bankruptcies, whatever, then this is the video that you want to watch. And I have a bunch of different credit reports. We have collections, charge-offs, repossessions, bankruptcies, so on and so forth. So what you are looking for is going to be in this video, and it's going to be covered. And at the end, I'm going to show you how this can also work using factual-based disputes with Live Letter, which is a Google Sheets tool that I created just for you, as well as introducing you to my brand new credit repair suite. And this is a credit repair software, and it does actually import Identity IQ credit reports, right? So that launch is going to be coming very, very, very soon. I do have a contact request here for that, and you're going to get the links down in the description to that. But we're going to go and get started. We have, like I said, a bunch of different credit reports, and obviously the first thing that we want to do, and let me just get rid of this thing right here in my automation. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put our information on here. You know that part, so let's just go and put that on here already. So we have name. If I could put my fingers where they're supposed to go on my keyboard, just 1 second. We have name, address, we have social and date of birth, and then obviously we're going to skip a line. We're going to put the date, and yes, you are putting today's date. Don't fight with me about backdating. If you didn't watch that video on that tactic not working, then you should probably pause this video, go back and watch that. Okay, now you're going to put the recipient here. So this is going to be like Experian, or it's going to be Equifax. Now if you don't know why I have that automatically popping up, you're going to want to watch my workshop coming out for the time machine. Okay, now let's get rid of Equifax and TransUnion. We're going to leave Experian on here, but it's going to be whoever the recipient is. And I'm just going to format this real quick. We're going to put 0 spaces. All right, so we have our recipient, our date, and our personal information. Now, pausing there, you don't only need to have your personal information, you also need to have copies of your actual identification, right? We've already gone over this. These are the basics, right? You're going to have to provide your identification, such as driver's license, state ID, military, passport. You also are going to want to provide a copy of your proof of address, like utility bill, cell phone bill, voter's registration, so on and so forth, and a copy of your social. Now, why would you want to provide that? Well, remember that the bureaus are in the business of stopping you from getting results, because this is how they make money, right? So you don't want to give them that extra leverage to just send you a stall tactic and say that you did not provide the required documentation. Right now, the first thing that we want to do is we want to write our first paragraph, and I'm going to make this really, really simple. I already have one saved as an automation, so let's do independent, if I could spell correctly, independent investigation. We're going to keep that on there. Now, here's the magic. You have to remember, it's not in the letter, it's in the dispute reason, right? So let's go, and we're going to put all of our disputes on here. So as you can see, the first one on this credit report is actually going to be CB Indigo. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to find the reason that this account needs to be removed. All right, and let me see if I can make this just a tad bigger so that you can see it if you are on a mobile device. All right, okay, so that looks pretty good right here. Now on this one, let's go and look at the open date. It's 2018, so I may or may not want to remove this just based on the open date, but looking at the payment history, I am going to have to remove it, because you cannot remove 120-day late payments. You can remove, like a handful of 30s and 60s and possibly a 90, but there's no way, no how that you're going to get rid of this 120-day late. So we need to find the reason that this account needs to be removed. Okay, so let's first look at the date last active, and I'm looking at credit reports with Identity IQ. And if you don't have Identity IQ, it's a credit monitoring site. I have all of my clients use it because it provides me the information that I need to get them results. Use the link in the description, you'll get a discount, and just so you know, that is my affiliate link, so you'll get it at $21.99 per month instead of $29.99. Now on this account, we do have something to work with here on 2 bureaus, right? Not all 3, but you can possibly use all 3. We have 9/14/2021, 6/1/2020, and 9/1/2021. So I'm going to tell you right now that Experian is more than likely reporting the date last active. And I'm going to tell you why. Not only because I'm looking at the payment history, but also because the older date is normally the accurate one. Okay, so this is why I said you may or may not be able to use all three bureaus. So on this account, we're going to, again, get rid of my automation here. We're going to say for CB Indigo, and you're just going to put the creditor name. You're going to put the account number. So you're going to put the entire account number the way that you see it on there. You do not need to put any X's on there or anything like that, or stars. We are going to say delete this account because the date last active is reported with 3 different dates. And then we are going to put Experian 6/1/2020. And then this is what factual disputes means, right? We're taking that information directly off the credit report. We're not coming up with anything. We're not pulling stuff out of a hat. We are literally using the actual evidence that we have available to us, okay? The same as an attorney would in a court of law, okay? So that is all you have to do for that account. Now, why am I choosing this? Because it has the biggest impact, okay? So if you don't know what that means, you may want to go look at my videos on the hierarchy, right? Because we have certain things that are more important than others, such as date last active versus open date, right? Okay, so now my second follow-up dispute reason, just so you know, for planning purposes, would be date of last payment. We have 9/8/2021, 7/5/2021, and 9/1/2021. Okay, you can also go after the payment history. Okay, and there's one more thing that you can go after here. Actually, no, I'm going to leave that because it's open and it's not closed. So for payment history, you can look at November 2019. We have OK 30, and then we have a little bit of a convoluted history here between December 2019 and February 2020. So I'm not going to spend that much time on the rest of them, but I wanted to point out what it is that we're doing. Now on this account, we are going to update it, okay? So again, we are going to put creditor name, which is going to be Boeing, Boeing ECU, put the account number 2010220, and we are going to say, let's go check it out. We're going to choose the oldest late payment, which is October 2019, and we're very simply going to force them to remove the account by inability to legally verify late payment. I'm going to say force them very simply because there's no way to legally verify late payment without them actually furnishing a copy of the data furnisher's bank statement, and they're never going to provide that information to you. So that is why you cannot legally verify a late payment. And this says October 2019 is reported as late, and this is inaccurate. Update this account to paid on time, never late, for payment history and accuracy. Very simple, okay? We're not putting any magic numbers and dates and laws and all that kind of stuff, okay? Let's go down. I don't want to waste any time here. Okay, so telecom self-reported. Now, just so you know, sometimes, most of the time, these actually report as collections. This one, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but look, I'm going to prove it to you right here. Account type detail. It says unknown credit extension review or collection. This does not report as a positive account. It looks positive. You put it on there because it's supposed to be positive, but this word right here actually makes it show up as a collection on your credit report, and it's going to work against you with your credit score. Okay. So for telecom, I use the same reason all the time for telecom, just so you know. We're going to say telecom self-reported. Then you're going to put that really long, what do you call it? The account number 9082198F. We're going to leave it at that. This is not a collection. And then we're going to say, please update this account type or status to paid on time. Super simple, and if there are multiple ones, normally there are at least 2 of them, you're just going to duplicate it, okay? So nothing special on that. Same thing for utility self-reported. As you can see, it says unknown credit extension review or collection. Do the same thing. Let's go down to the next one. This one is good. This one is good. These are good. We are only disputing our negative accounts on here. So let's go down to Credence RM. This is a regular collection. And you're going to use the validation of debt as well as dispute this with the bureaus as unknown and force them. And again, I'm using the word force because I'm not going to be able to force them to provide documentation that proves ownership of this account. Now, this reports as a collection charge-off. It is not a charge-off. It is actually a collection. So this account is unknown. Delete. Now, you can also say remove this unverified account, right? Okay. Now, the next account is not a regular collection. This is actually a debt buyer right here, Midland. So this has to be disputed a very specific way because we are not disputing directly with them. So for Midland, 30496, we are going to look at the date last active right here. Look at that. Date last active. We have two different dates. So on this one, as I mentioned, we're going to use date last active. So let's go back over to our letter, and we are very simply going to say delete for inaccurate date last active and add those dates in. So remove this account for date last active inaccuracy. TransUnion report 9/14 2021 and Experian 5/1 2020. Okay, so for national credit systems, this is going to be disputed the same way as credence because it is a regular collection. Same with consumer adjusters, adjustments, whatever. Credit management, same thing. Portfolio is going to be disputed the same way as Midland. We are going to look for the inaccuracy on here, and we have 8/29/2021 and 5/1/2018 in the date last active. Your next one would possibly be date last reported because this was actually disputed in September. They didn't update it with TransUnion, which means that it wasn't disputed or investigated, excuse me. All right, Grim collection is going to be the same thing as the other regular collections. And then this one is positive, this one is negative. So let's go and look at this one. So something jumps off the page here. Two different things. If you look at date last active, we have 1/2020, 1/2020, and 11/2019. And then if you look at the payment history, we have all of these charge off, right? So there shouldn't be anything after this account was closed. It looks like this account was closed January 2020. So we are going to dispute that as such. Now, reporting charge off is activity on this account. Okay, it's basically saying that you were late because there was a balance up until actually there still is a balance. Now this is why you're going to see all these charge offs reported here. It's very simply because there is a balance. If there were if this account had been paid, you would not be seeing that. So we're going to go and add this in, and it is FNWSE OPPLNS, and it is LA1, I think that's an I, 0090. Let's do something as simple as disputing. Let's go up to charge off because we already have a couple of them with the date last active. So stop reporting this account because let's see, we have basically 2 years, right? 2 years of charge off reported in the payment history. There, if I could spell correctly, there should be no activity after this account was closed in January of 2020. Super simple on here. Now let's go and look for the other ones. Now we have RK Residence, this is positive. Midland, this goes with the other one. That's a collection. We have, okay, so we have Finger Hut. Okay, on this account, there's a couple of things that we can actually go after on Finger Hut. I'm going to point them out before we actually write anything. So take a look at the date last reported. 2017, 2017, 2017. How does that make any sense if I just disputed this? Like I've been disputing this. Well, if they verified this and they actually investigated it, then this date 2/13/17, 2/13/17, and 2/1/2017 should have been updated to when they last verified it. However, as you can see, it looks like this account was never investigated. Okay, so we can get it removed for that. You can also look at date last active, 1/17, 2/17, 6/16. We have 2 different years. And then in the date last paid, we have 7/16, 7/16, 6/16. And then in the payment history, we are on time and late for the same dates, which makes no sense. And we are okay and charged off for the same date. So January 2017 and June 2016. So I'm first going to go after the date last reported, but I would follow that up with the payment history, and then I would go after date last active and date last paid, as well as the missing notice of dispute pursuant to section 623. So there's a lot that can be used on this account to remove it. So I'm very simply going to write this out the same way that I did before. So WEBBNKF HUT. This is 636992, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Delete this account because, oops, let's go spell it correctly. Account because you verified it and yet did not update the date last reported to the date you verified this account. This means no investigation was done. Simple, right? Now let's go and check this one out. I would go after this. I mean, obviously this sticks right off the page. I'm seeing what I am going to use, but you can go after all of these charge-offs here. You can go after the date last paid, 1/2020, 1/2020, 10/2016. You can go after the high balance 21,666, 21,666, 15,319, and you can go after date last active 1/31/17, 1/1/2020, and 10/1/2016. Now, because there are 3 different years, I'm going to use date last active. I would follow that up with the high balance, and then I would go after all of these charge-offs listed for 2 straight years. Okay, so we're going to go write it, and our dispute reason is very simply going to be flagship credit, and this is 9306310. Stop reporting this account because the date last active shows 3 different months, days, and years. And then you're going to go and put those dates in here, the same that we did earlier, right? Dates. So Equifax shows, Experian shows, TransUnion shows. Okay. Now, this report actually has quite a bit on it, so we may not even have to look at the other ones. This one's good. This one is bad. First Premier. This is going to be basically the same. So we have 2 different months in the date last active. We have 2 different months in the date last paid. We have 2 years showing charge off, charge off, charge off. And the date last reported does show the same month. So that means we are going to go after the date of last activity. Okay. Now, just because we haven't used it yet, we're actually going to go after date last paid. So this is First Premier 517800. I don't bother putting the entire thing. Normally there are 2 First Premier accounts, so if there are, they're both going to be reported like this. Delete this account because the date of last payment reports 3 different dates, and then again you're going to enter in the dates there. Okay, now I am going to go and add multiple clients on this one letter. Obviously you would not do that in real life. You would very simply say, you know, please send me a new credit report detailing the requested changes for inaccuracy. And then you would put your name. I mean, it's really, really, really as simple as that. But let's go and check out these other reports, and we are going to put any additional accounts right below here. Now, I'm probably not going to go that far into the other ones because, like I said, we did kind of cover everything on there except for public records. So we have portfolio recovery. We already did debt buyer. We're going to make this a little bit bigger. portfolio recovery, Calvary, and these are disputed the same way. ERC is a regular collection. You're going to dispute that using validation of debt, and that's enhanced recovery. Portfolio recovery is the same thing. This is canceled by credit grantor. Okay, so far so good. All right, so let's go and dispute this one. This is going to be JPMCB card. Let's go add them in real quick. Okay, so obviously there's a lot going on here. So let's go check this out. We have a whole horde of charge off, charge off, charge off. We have a bounce of 32.49 across the board. We have I wouldn't bother with the high balance limit. I'm not going to bother with that. Okay, so that means we are left with 3 different months in the date less active and 2 different months in years in the date less paid. So I'd probably go after date less paid, then date less active, and then we would go after the payment history. But if we take a look right here in the date last reported, again, this was recently disputed. They didn't put that on there, but even more importantly, in the comments, it does not state that it was disputed by the consumer. So we are going to use that as our dispute reason. That's right here where it says comments. I'm going to highlight this right here. It should say disputed by consumer or something to that effect. And this is going to be a request for deletion pursuant to section 623. So we're going to ask for a deletion. So delete this account for failure to enter the required notice of dispute pursuant to section 623, which was, or that was supposed to be entered within 30 days of receipt of my first dispute. Now, you can simplify this and say delete this account for failure to enter the notice of dispute. Okay, so someone actually asked this on in the comments on one of my recent videos. How do you write a request for removal for the notice of dispute? That's exactly how you would write it. Okay, so we have another charge off down here. And I am going to use the payment history on this very simply because it shows okay while also being charged off. So the way that you would handle this is Equifax has a tendency on non-Equifax reports to report as okay, even though it is not. So we can use this to basically state that the account is reported inaccurately and then get it removed. Okay, so let's go and dispute CCB Ulta, and this is 57809. This is probably going to be the last one on here, and I am going to show you how to dispute a bankruptcy, though. So we're going to say delete this account because each bureau reports different payment history. And this is where you're actually going to put in the different dates. So Equifax reports this while Experian reports this, so on and so forth. Okay, so now let's say that you had a bankruptcy. I'm not sure if I have any that do have bankruptcies. Let's go down here and check. All right, public information, no, 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 and this is probably going to be a no as well. Okay, so I'm just going to have to draw it out for you. All right, so with a bankruptcy, normally you'll have all 3 bureaus report different dates, right? And if you actually go over to my channel, let's go to youtube.com/expert credit sweeps, and you go to the main page right here. There's a magnifying glass. Click on that and put in bankruptcy. I actually show you in this video right here how to remove bankruptcies, tax liens, and evictions from your credit report, how to remove it, as well as in I think it's this one, bankruptcy and tax lien deleted in 30 days. And There's another one, but you get the drift, okay? If you want to learn how to remove a bankruptcy specifically in detail, you're going to want to go and watch this one right here. How to remove public records, okay? Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to pretend that we have 3 different dates and or court names, okay? Because that's normally the way that it works. So we're going to go and we're going to put however they're actually reporting it. So that would be like US, BK, RPT, or whatever. And then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to very simply state delete this bankruptcy because it does not report the accurate name of the court. Okay, so it's actually required for it to be reported as US Bankruptcy Court, City, State. In other words, US Bankruptcy Court, Fremont, California. Okay. Anything other than that, like Dist Court or USBK RPTCT or federal court or anything along those lines, even just US bankruptcy court, is going to be inaccurate. And yes, I know I spelled that wrong. Whatever, you get the drift, okay? So it should only report this way. Anything else outside of that is going to be wrong, okay? So that was our factual disputes for credit sweeps on how to write dispute letters, taking the information directly from your credit report. Now, if you don't know how to construct your dispute reasons the right way, or you need help, then go down into the description, click on the link to pull up Live Letter. Okay, this is a Google Sheets tool that I created that has a lot of cool stuff. I mean, I just totally got tongue tied. But, anyways, you have your CRM right here. You have the help desk where you can find the tutorials, and you're just going to add your clients in. You're going to choose what type of letter you want to create, like Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. It's going to, do some magic. You can put in there, Identity IQ, My Score IQ, Smart Credit, login details. You can even clear the boxes on here in case, like when you can only have one letter checked per client, or excuse me, at a time. So if I'm working on this person, then I want to, click on their boxes so it shows up on the print page, because otherwise it won't. You can use this automation right here and clear those boxes. Now on the options page, it's really simple. You can either paste in your own letter. You can use one of the 80 or so letters that are built in. And in the upgraded version, there's like 270 of them. And then you would go and you write in your disputes. And we actually can automate for round 1. And then on any future round, we can automate rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 based on what we had in our previous round, right? And that is just using these boxes right here. It's super, super simple. This saves so much time and it does everything for you. Everything is built in. You can use, you can write your own custom reason. You can use a built-in reason. There's like 300 of them. You can it's so, so, so awesome because it does all the heavy lifting for you. So if you don't know how to write your disputes and you don't know how to write your opening letter, then this might be something you want to check out. And then, like I said, I am going to introduce you for the first time to the credit repair suite that I created with my developer friend. And we've been working on it since March. It was a very expensive project for me because I know how to build the app, but I don't know how to do all of that extra back-end stuff like writing how to import, Identity IQ credit reports. So you can import CSV data here. So if you are using like Client Dispute Manager and you want to import all your clients, you can actually do that. Now I'm in the admin dashboard, but it's really, really simple. So this is actually going to be available probably for beta in like 2 weeks, but that's what I have this form here. Like I said, you just go down in the description and click on this, or you can use the QR code right here and pull it up to let me know that you're interested. But anyways, There's a ton of dispute reasons that are available on here. There's a ton of dispute letters to choose from. You can add your own. There's a creditor vault, the master print page, tasks. We're working on automations right now. But it's really as simple as adding in your client, adding in their accounts, and choosing obviously your letter and your dispute reasons and printing it. Now, the cool thing about this and what makes this different is, like I said, it imports the credit report. So you would go to your client, and I already have one in here, but anyways, you would go to your client, you would import their credit report, and you can run an analysis on it. So not only will it import the credit report for you, and you know it'll tell you all of the accounts that are negative, like collections and charge-offs and late payments and whatnot, but it'll run the analysis report for you so that you can determine what's inaccurate about it, and then you would import those records. So this is really, really awesome. I am going to make this actually dark mode. I don't really like the white, but this is just because I'm still working on it right now. But if you are interested in this, and like I said, it's not done right now. I mean, it's totally functional, but I still think there's a couple more things that need to be added into this. Then use the link in the description. Go here. This will have a monthly fee attached to it. It is not free for me, so it's not going to be free on the monthly for you. It's probably going to be somewhere around 70 or so per month, which is still 50% less than everybody else charges. All right. So, anyways, if you have issues with creating the right letters and getting results and managing your clients and all of that, then head over, fill this out, and you'll go into my contact list for the credit suite. Otherwise, live letter is already available. It's been available for a couple of months. That'll do all the heavy lifting for you. And if you don't want to do any of this stuff and you would rather see if I can do the credit sweep for you, then head over to my740.com, schedule a call with me, and I will see if I can help. But for right now, I hope you have a wonderful evening, have a great weekend, and I'll see you